Random Order Audio, a new age of options.
Wrapped in his chamber, once silent as scratch as he slept.
We're here with The Spider Hole. It's a band that just last week was in the studio recording a song to be used in the Random Order Audio format. Why don't you tell us a little bit about your band, The Spider Hole?
Well, band's been around for about, a lot of years, since we were in our teens. And,
I'm not gonna say how many that is.
No, it's, don't want to date myself.
18!
And, we're kind of a rock band, kind of a jazz, gypsy, alternative, hard rock. It's really hard to say. Yeah, cabaret. A lot of influences, a lot of theatrical influences. Our songs are often stories with surreal outcomes, surreal characters, things that don't always make a lot of sense, but are kind of emotional tone poems in a way.
And our live performances too, occasionally. We'll do a few times a year. We'll do a really big show where there actually might be characters. There'll be set pieces. There'll be
other actors.
Some kind of through line or narrative, possibly. Kind of whatever we feel like really throwing ourselves into and working towards for that month or so.
We don't want to be branded as a gimmicky band that you can always expect to see spectacle and stilt walkers and people in masks. You know, we very much about the music and the passion of the performance, and we don't want to force gimmicks into every show unless it really means something and it really will have an impact. So every once in a while, if we're inspired and it feels like the right thing to do, we will put on a bigger production, but more often we just rely on the performance and the music itself.
Not too long ago, you had a song, possibly a set of songs, that you were looking to adapt to the Random Order Audio format, but now you've taken it to new heights with a song that's just for Random Order Audio. Can you tell us what that's like, building an ROA song from the ground up?
First of all, planning out the story that we wanted to tell, starting from just bits and pieces, and then figuring out the points of view we wanted to use, and how many versions of each section of the song, how many sections there had to be, how many styles we wanted to play in, whether or not we wanted to change melody for different characters narrating. It was a mess to organize, and then to figure out what's going on in each verse and what new things are going to be revealed within the different versions of each verse. There was a lot of mapping out of story points and characters, and a lot of shorthand notation that I probably wouldn't be able to understand if I looked at it again.
And for an artist, the blank page, is the most intimidating thing. That first letter, that first word is the most intimidating thing to come up with. Now, imagine, if you will, a blank page that leads to 2 other blank pages, which each lead to 3 other blank pages.
Yes.
So that's kind of the creative wall that you're up against.
Yeah, as soon as you knock one thing down, it's like the Hydra,
But then it makes you wonder. We've never seen him unwind. He barely blinks in the shine. I never wanted to believe.
And what kind of similarities or differences would there be versus doing a typical song that is not in the Random Order Audio format?
Well, in a typical song, it's you only have to think of one linear track. You have to think of the melody and treatment of the verse into the chorus, into the bridge, what have you. With our Random Order Audio, when we were using multiple melodies and multiple styles, we really had to try and pre-visualize whether or not these pieces would flow together and work together. And there was a lot of planning and tweaking and figuring out what beats to cut on. Quite a different experience than writing a regular song.
I was pretty impressed at how we'd go in with the idea of playing it 3 or 4 different ways, and then of each one of those ways, Scott would yell out, "Try it 3 or 4 different ways for each one of those different ways." And at the end, there's so many different directions that it had gone. It was at a certain point you just started to feel kind of like you could do anything you wanted, and that was very free and really exciting thing I've never experienced in any other project.
Obviously, it took quite a bit of time and thought and planning going into it, but how do you feel about the overall worthfulness of having done it?
Oh, it's amazing. I feel like we're in touch with the musical gods. I mean, this is something that's never been done before. Like, I know that there have been other songs that have been mixed for ROA with different mixing variations on each section, maybe even some changed lyrics or re-sung, but this is the first time a song has been written in 3D like this, where there's so many different outcomes and storylines and things to follow.
Yeah, I certainly wouldn't be satisfied if it was just, if we were using ROA to have multiple guitar solos and that was the only variation, or if we were just even changing the texture of one section or something. Doesn't seem like you're really capitalizing on what the software can do. You can do so much more with it.
Mm-hmm.
Could you give us a little sneak peek of the song you're writing and just recorded this last week, and maybe touch on why everyone's going to be so excited for it?
Well, the song is called "The Man with the Golden Skeleton," and it's a murder mystery where 3 people wake up in a locked, empty pool hall with the boneless body of... there's a boneless corpse in the room with them, and they all have amnesia from the night before, so they don't remember how they got there or what happened. And it's a matter of piecing together everybody's connection to each other and or to the corpse and what happened to its bones. And as the song plays out, various clues to what actually happened are laid throughout each version of each section of the song. So every time you listen to it, more will be revealed, and by the end, all the pieces together, you know what happened. And
So do you have to listen to it like all 20 million times?
you have to listen to all 12 million, 150 million.
And then you will
various-
actually know
Yeah.
what happened to the man.
It's
12
worth it though.
million
It's
plays.
worth it.
Yes.
Like the 12 millionth play, you're like,
Oh, brilliant! Brilliant!
I thought the song was dumb the last 11,999,000 times. I get it now.
So stick with it. We did.
Biggest laugh yet.
Before going into the studio and doing this, you were quite adamant and excited about jumping into the studio and laying down a song that took full advantage of what Random Order Audio has to offer. Now that you've been through the process of writing and recording a song this way, do you still have the same passion and interest towards Random Order Audio?
Yeah, absolutely. Joking with Larry, the producer engineer, about doing a whole album of this sort, and yeah, he just wanted to blow his brains out. This is so much to keep track of. But yeah, very enthusiastic. I mean, even while I was writing the lyrics for The Man with the Golden Skeleton, I was already daydreaming up other stories and scenarios that I would like to explore in 3 dimensions like that.
Yeah, this is brand new. This is a toy that we just got. We haven't even learned how to play with it yet.
Right.
Like,
Well-
this first, and we already know next time we hit the studio to do it that it's going to be twice as smooth because of all the little things that we learned stumbling along the way to get through the first one. I mean, that's what happens though. The first one through the wall always gets a little bloody. And
More
then
session musicians.
You learn.
They really killed it.
the session musicians were awesome in
Yeah.
this. Yes,
Yeah.
all the guests that we had come in and help us out.
Yeah,
And Larry himself, he threw some instrumentation down that was just wonderful.
spot on.
Oh, that's nice.
What were you gonna say?
Zach already said it.
Oh,
Yeah.
thanks, Zach. Yeah, he finally has something to say.
I finally had something to say and you took it from. I
You,
was
you
like,
don't actually need to be here, right?
No. Apparently Larry can program it in the interview.
That's true.
And has the whole process and Random Order Audio in general changed the way you look at and the way you write music?
In a sense, yes, and in a sense, no, because it's still a matter of pre-visualization and creating something. There's just more layers to it. Each layer I look at the same way as I would just a regular linear song, but the fact that this is so new and exciting does give it an extra dimension.
But the goal is still the same, just to affect people.
Yes.
To get people to feel and think. That part hasn't changed.
Exactly.
I understand that artists, they write and play what they feel, and forcing something usually isn't the best way. So for Random Order Audio, the concept as a whole, would you say it's more liberating to music than it is forced?
I would say yes. Just only because like you come up at least when we're writing songs, usually it's like a million different ideas, and now you can actually express each million idea.
Yeah.
Now, so you don't have to restrict yourself at all when you're recording through ROA.
I would say it depends on the band. Like, there's probably some bands out there that would find it restrictive or forceful. We just
Like, oh, I've got to come up with another version of this. Yeah.
right with us. I think it's very liberating.
Yeah, just-
though.
As a general thought, do you think you'd ever go back to writing just linear works?
Yes. Yeah, absolutely. I do both. I mean, in fact, I go back with a sigh. Like, oh, okay, just one. Just one track here. Yeah, because there's a challenge in both ways. Simplification is also challenging. So coming up with a 2 to 3 minute song that just works as a standalone piece is still going to have its specific set of challenges that that you trade for the challenges of ROA. When you do that, you lose. You don't have to worry about those. You have a whole new set of challenges, but yet more that's. It's also simplified because you can do more. You can do every idea that comes to your mind. So, it's 6 of one, half a dozen of the other.
Thank you for doing the interview, guys, and I look forward to hearing more from the Spider Hole here in the future.
Thank you.
Thank you.
He said, dear loving boy, yeah.